guys, Brian Stevens over here with Mortgage Shots. I have Dave Savage. He's been around for a while. He's notorious. Everybody knows him. He, of course, is the creator and CEO of Mortgage Coach, a fantastic product that we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But Dave, how are we doing?
We're doing good, man. It's a couple weeks till the end of the year, and I'm excited about 25.
Let me ask you about that. A couple weeks till the end of the year. Is this a time for loan officers to snooze? What should a loan officer be doing right now? Getting ready for the resolutions, snoozing, nesting?
I think that depends on how big they want to play in 25. I think the most successful people any year they're playing hard. I mean, not to say that they don't have a week planned off or 2 weeks planned, but if they did, they are hitting it hard. I know a lot of top producers that have already scheduled January with realtors and referral partners, and they've got their meetings scheduled for next week. I do believe the most successful people at this point are either fine-tuning their business goals for next year and their strategic plans, but they're getting that finished up. They're going into the new year with documentation that's very high level of what they want to achieve, and then the most successful are breaking that down into what is winning the week, what is winning the day. I definitely advocate. I've already started scheduling strategic meetings for next year, and anyone who doesn't have meetings that are going to be business growing, business building in January, I think you're making a mistake. It's hard to get meetings the first week in January because now people are just like, kind of getting over the new year hangover. So if you don't have it scheduled and you want to be busy, now is the time to do that.
Hey, listen, let's look back 2024. I just read something that this is the lowest year of production in the mortgage industry for the past 3 decades. And if we go back 3 decades, back into the 90s, we had a population density that was 22% less than what it is currently, meaning we're actually having lower production value based on a per capita ratio than maybe 4, 5, 6 decades. What happened in 2024 and how do we overcome it in 25?
Yeah, so no, I mean, guys, there's some metrics that are very daunting and not good. And when you really normalize and you look at the number of loans, it's bad. There's not a lot of loans getting done on a historic basis. And the fact that loans are bigger, houses are bigger, it doesn't look as bad. But when you look at the transaction volume, it's an issue. And I'll list out some real challenges and by the way, I think every challenge is an opportunity. So the fact that unit volume's down and it's a challenge, there is something called survivor benefits, people that make it to the other side as, I don't know what a normal market is, but 1.8, 2.2, 2.5, it's not $4 trillion in mortgage debt, probably not $3 trillion in mortgage debt. It's probably, something in the high ones, low twos. But there's going to be survivor benefits. And then I think it's a full-on crisis what's happening with first-time home buyers.
Oh, God, yes.
I would push everyone who's listening to go to Perplexity. By the way, if you're not using Perplexity, you could voice this. It's a really cool AI app that I use almost every day instead of Google, and go, Perplexity, what is the average age of first-time home buyers for the past 30 years, and break it down by year? And what you're going to find, guys, is that it's, there was a time when it was 29, 30, 28, 31, 32 for decades. Last year, we broke the mold and we went to 35. Right now, it's 38. Guys, it is a full-on crisis. Yep. That we're wiping out the middle class. The wealth gap is widening. It was values continuing to increase. I mean, it's a crisis. And so, by the way, that's a problem. It's also an opportunity if you are a mortgage professional that knows how to educate and inspire families and be scrappy and creative and get families to come together to help the next generation get into homeownership. It's not an insurmountable problem. It's just harder and it requires more education. So that's an opportunity. And then I've got a slide that I have in my presentation that I got from Housing Wire, and it kind of lays out, I'll give you the slide if you want to share it somewhere, but it graphically lays out how many people are at 2, 3, 4, 5%. And then it really shows where the opportunity is for rate and term refis. And we all know when rates got down to 6.25, we were entering the opportunity zone. We only had that zone for a couple weeks, but I know a lot of loan officers that were ready for it. They had systems for it. They had scripts for it. They closed a whole lot of loans, in the 3 weeks that happened, or they took loans and closed loans. They were like taking loans, locking them in and closing them. I know a lot of loan officers that took a lot of loan apps, didn't lock in their loans and ended up doing a lot of busyness, not business. But But by the way, here's the opportunity. Like rates aren't going to go like right now. I don't know a single credible economist that thinks rates are going to get in the fours next year. Now, I do know some optimistic, smart people that think they could. By the way, I'm one of those. I'm optimistic, and I do believe there is a possibility, but I would not business plan around that. I would business plan around 5.5, somewhere like rates are going to play a little higher than they are. They're going to play a little lower, and you should have a business plan. You're going to win in that 5.75 to 6.75 market. Like that should be the, and they could touch 7 again, but you need to have a business plan that is interest rate independent. Like you're not playing the interest market, and one of the best opportunities is all those people that have 2, 3, 4, and low 5s. A lot of them want to sell their homes. A lot of them want to move up, like millions of them. And so if you can be a loan officer that knows how to have that move up conversation and help realtors move up, some people that feel locked by rates, like it's a problem, it's an opportunity. But those are some of the, what I think going into 2025, that be clear on what the opportunity zone is and what rates are going to be. Be clear on what are the conversations and what are the skills you need to have in order to win in this market. But I think for the people that have those skills and that understand those markets, it's going to be a much better year than last year.
Yeah, it's by the way, the average move-up buyers, according to the FHFA, is 54. So you're moving out of your starter home when you're 54 years old. And that's kind of crazy. These numbers are a problem. They're a big problem. We've kind of gone away.
By the way, pause on that, because by the way, I think a new term will emerge, and I didn't invent this term. It's been around, but it's not something that people have really niched. But it's the first-time seller. Like we obsess over the first-time home buyer, like that's a thing. But I think we need to be a specialist in the first-time seller market. Like there is a whole demographic around that. There is an audience around that. Be a specialist. And most realtors aren't thinking about first-time sellers. That's not a nomenclature and a phrase that I think is common. So I would push people hey, be like the best loan officer with helping first-time home buyers get clarity and confidence around buying. Clarity, confidence, and scrappy, creative around buying.
Ready.
And then build a reputation for being that loan officer that can do everything I just said for first-time sellers. That's the thing.
I love that term. I love that term. The thing is we've really empowered words. Like I tell loan officers right now, say, don't look at your database. Don't call it a database. Just call it your best opportunity. So in the morning, how'd you do with your best opportunity today? I ignored my best opportunity. Well, that's probably not smart now, is it? We change the words, it takes on an entirely new dynamic. But as far as becoming a specialist, like that person, that go-to person in this market, particularly in these difficult markets, and I love what you said about, hey, listen, bad markets, there's opportunities in these as well. For a loan officer needs to understand that real estate agents right now, they're starving. They're a fish in a pond in a drought, and they will bite on anything. And the thing is, if we could go to them with strategies and ideas and really position ourselves to be that person who, who's got the plan and can execute that plan and is working with them. To Dave's point, we should have started that months ago, but right now, today is the day to start preparing for 2025. All absolutely fantastic points.
So by the way, guys, just to add to the challenge of the market, there's a lot of cash buyers. Yeah. So you've got a lot of consumers that are at 2, 3, 4, 5% problem and opportunity. You've got first-time home buyers that are getting older and older and older. And you know what? There's a lot, in September of 2023, it was 34% of home purchases were made in cash, according to Redfin. In Manhattan, it was 57%. For all you Orange County loan officers, 44% of homes. For all you South Florida people, 66% of homes were purchased. So by the way, know your market. And by the way, if you could be the loan officer that goes into a realtor and actually helps them with some business planning, hey, did you know that X% of the homes in your market, this is what's cash. This is the percent that have 2, 3, 4, and 5%. This is what it's like for first-time home buyers. Hey, this is the average age of first-time sellers. And you know what? I specialize in helping you win with these people. So know your market and know the obstacles and the opportunities would be my advice.
One of the we're over here with CapDirect. We're building something out that we're pretty proud of. I was speaking with one of my loan officers in Kentucky, a guy named Michael Shad. And, we talk about what works. We try to all adopt. We crowdsource. We take what doesn't work. We scrap heap it. Try to stay as lean and nimble as possible. I think that's a pretty prudent approach for the market that we're in right now. And so he goes, so I'm using Mortgage Coach. I'm like, how's that working for you? Now, Dave, I've known you for 20 some odd years. I knew you before we got into videos. And so anyways, I was talking with him about it, and I'm looking at this from a loan officer's perspective, where I always looked at products from a sales perspective. And I'm like, that really helps. That really helps. Now, there is opportunity. You were taught, I forget how you termed it, but yeah, you being in this market means fewer attrition is going to help you out. Fewer loan officers, fewer realtors means more volume for us when this thing turns a little bit. But what comes with that is more competition. So you have to be on your game, to get these deals from real estate agents and to get these deals from your clients. So that first impression that you make with that client that you're going to get, be it a purchase or a refinance, understand you're facing stiffer competition. You're in the pros now. So I was looking at what you were doing over there at Mortgage Coach. I'm like, damn, I forgot how slick this stuff is. Now, in terms of really kind of, for me, what caught me was that initial first impression, because when you're sitting down and talking with these folks, you're not only explaining what the rate is going to, the rate, freight, and date, but you're also giving it depth by analyzing exactly what that means to them specifically, really kind of customizing it for that client. Just quickly, what are some of the things that we're doing on Mortgage Coach that is giving loan officers a distinct advantage, like Mike Shad out in Kentucky?
I have been talking about my entire career, and I started calling it the advice revolution the past couple of years.
Sure.
But I mean, I've been on this advice revolution in the mortgage industry, most of my career. And I've been on this mission with Barry Habib, Tim Brahim. There's some folks that we kind of figured it out that hey, most loan officers quote rates. They, here's your payment, here's your cash to close. Barry became Barry because he was really good at talking about the market, and this is what's happened in the economy, and this is what that means to you, and powerful. And so we're now in a place where there's the haves and the have-nots in terms of loan officers and lenders. And the haves play the advice game. They're not just, hey, here's your rate, here's your payment, here's your cash to close. That's loan officers play that game. And here's my message to the industry and loan officers. Everything that can be automated will be automated, and showing people their monthly payment, telling people what they qualify for, that is really easy to do online. I mean, I could do that digitally. I could talk to an app and know what I qualify for, know what my payment is, know what my cash to close. It's do you want to be valuable to a consumer? You need to ask them more questions beyond the transaction. How do you want to be, not just that you're going to live in this house, so I can points versus no points, 5-year ARM versus 30-year. Guys, that's loan officer automation stuff. It's hey, how do you want to be when your home's paid off and you own it free and clear? And what is your plan for building wealth with real estate? Do you want to, when do you want to move up? And do you know what moving up means? Do you want to buy investment property? By the way, what is your real estate plan for your kids? All financial advisors talk about hey, what are you doing to save money to put your kids through college? Guys, I'm telling you right now, the haves and have-nots in America own homes. The net worth difference between homeowners is $400,000 or more in net worth. Renters is $10,000 in net worth. Parents should be prioritizing my home ownership plan for my kids over their college plan for their kids.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're the loan officer,
that's a great point.
Yeah, well, that's why I founded First Home IQ, and a nonprofit, dedicated to helping families put their kids into their homes in their 20s. Because if we plan around this, we can do it. And so Mortgage Coach and MBS Highway, which are the two most widely used advice platforms in the marketplace, we help visualize so that a consumer could understand hey, these are my goals. This is what I have. This is my real estate plan. And this is when I should move up. Mortgage Coach, I tried to build it as an advice engine so that it integrates with a lot of technology. And when it comes to I think every loan officer needs to think of themselves as a golfer, and you got a golf bag and you got clubs in your bag. And there's a time to pull out the video club. And by the way, there's a couple different video clubs. There's the Zoom video, There's the text video, there's the bomb video, there's the social media video, there's the one-on-one video. And then I think every loan officer needs to have advice clubs. Like, I think we have like the putter. So unless you hit a hole in one, you need the putter at some point with a customer. And you need to help that customer build wealth with real estate faster because of your advice. And then I also think my push to all loan officers is that the American dream is not just home ownership. The American dream is home ownership in a sustainable way with financial freedom. Like, that is what people want. And so when you can be someone that is really helping them, home ownership for you, for your kids, with a plan for financial freedom, now you've differentiated. And that's what I'm all about. That's what Mortgage Coach is all about, is giving you technology and education to do that.
I wanted to jump you there about halfway through. I always talk to loan officers about, okay, so with all your marketing that you're doing, you're either getting a client where they've already made their home buying intentions known, meaning they've called a realtor, they've hit somebody's marketing piece. So there's a pool of people and we're all going after that pie. I always say you want to manufacture leads. That's creating a deal where it simply didn't or would not exist without your participation. When you were talking about your financial planning here, what are their intentions? If with Mortgage Coach you're making their intentions known, okay, would you like to own additional properties? As time progresses here. Well, yeah, I think that would be great to be a landlord and to double or triple my real estate holdings over the next 10, 15 years, whatever the case is. With Mortgage Coach and a loan officer, you're setting that strategy up. You're manufacturing an opportunity where it simply would not exist without your participation in Mortgage Coach. And what it's also doing is giving you a prompt as a loan officer to go ahead and reach out to this past client in order to make sure that they're staying on track with what their objectives are. How many transactions are lost right now because they never materialized? How many people are sitting on a boatload of equity who could and should buy an investment property but simply haven't done it because they haven't been given that prompt? Mortgage Coach, how many, you can't put a number on this, but how many transactions are there with investment properties?
Well, no, I mean,
it's going to be a ton.
We can to some point. So first of all, I call that uncovering hidden opportunities. Like, if someone calls you and says, I need a loan, you did not uncover a hidden opportunity. If a realtor gives you a referral, you did not uncover a hidden opportunity.
Right.
Where, and this is the difference between good and great.
Yep.
The great crush it with the obvious opportunities, referrals and leads, and the great uncover hidden opportunities at scale, consistently, and they're more valuable to realtors. So when I was just Mortgage Coach, I wouldn't have been able to answer that. But now that Mortgage Coach is part of Trust Engine and we have data, so we monitor databases and we look for opportunities. Like, we're monitoring databases for eligibility and propensity. Like, who is eligible to buy, sell, and refinance, and who has the highest propensity score to want to buy, sell, refinance. So we have that data. And our customers that have we call it the Trust Engine platform, and our loan officer app, they have that. And so we can look at that. And then it's just a question of, we know how many opportunities we created per loan officer per database. We know how many apps they took, and we know how many loans they closed. And by the way, we track that for our customers. And then now the way we kind of come to the conclusion of what is the potential is you start looking at loan officers. And if you have hundreds of loan officers, there are some loan officers that you look at their opportunities, you look at how many apps, how many loans they close. That's what's possible. And then you look at the loan officers that are in the bottom. And so here's the answer to your question. Almost over 95, probably 98% of loan officers lose more loans than they close.
That's a trick.
By the way, a lot more loans.
When you put it in these terms and somebody's looking back retrospectively at 2024 and you say, well, it's a tough year. Well, the market had a tough year. You would make the separation. The market had a tough year. In some ways, kind of tough love a little bit, but you chose to have a bad year. The market, yes, had a bad year, but you as an individual loan officer chose to have a bad year, if we're going to be a little honest with ourselves. And did we wring the neck of every opportunity when it presented itself to you? The first question they have to ask is, well, where are the opportunities? I don't see them. What I'm hearing from you is Mortgage Coach through Trust Engine will present those opportunities, and it's just a matter of if you're going to pick that phone up and knock those deals down, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe in a just what I believe a truth in life is that you pick your habits and your habits pick your life. And so, I mean, probably not the first time anybody on this call heard this, But there are loan officers that I interview, top producers, $100 million. I'm interviewing a $100 million producer tomorrow. I interviewed a $140 million producer last Tuesday. I interview a lot of people making a lot of money, killing it in the business. Their actual market share is going up. Their market share is going up in this market, and they're killing it. Now, if you told them, are you hitting your goals? They'll be like, no. Like, most people did not hit their goals this year, even the $100 million producers, because they wanted to close 140. But I know a lot of people who are surpassing their goals. And you know why? Because they had a good game plan. They have the right technology. They have the right habits around how they use that technology, and they win. It's real simple. Pick your habits, pick your life. And so, yeah, everybody could win. And by the way, every lender could be profitable. This is not a mortgage coach commercial, although is a little bit, every month we have companies give us their data on the loan officers that use Mortgage Coach, the loan officers that don't. And I have yet to see where the lowest conversion increase we've seen is like 7 to 8 percentage improvement in conversion. Usually it's right around 10% conversion. And then in terms of basis points, less price concessions, making more money, usually it's around 15 basis points. And so literally and it's not just Mortgage Coach, it's like having an advice conversation versus a loan officer transaction conversation is costing the company 20 basis points on average. And last time I looked, the entire industry profited at about like 18 or 19 basis points. So, and when they were losing money, most of the time they were like 5 basis points, 15 basis points from profitability. And so I think if lenders and loan officers just started playing the advice game versus the loan officer game, lenders would be profitable, loan officers would be killing it. It would all be good.
I hope people understand the difference between being a loan officer and being an advice coach. There is a huge, huge difference. If you didn't, rewind this and watch it again and go check out what Mortgage Coach has to offer. And by the way, I just want to be very, very clear about this. When I reached out to Dave, this was not intended to be a commercial for Mortgage Coach. I reached out to Dave because I started looking at Mortgage Coach. As you know, over here, I look at a ton of products. And the one that made the most sense to me for adopting for my business and for Cap Direct is Mortgage Coach. So this is something I 100% believe in. And listen, you're getting Mortgage Coach isn't going to make you a better loan officer. It's just like I can buy a real fantastic pair of running shoes, but it doesn't make me a marathoner. You got to go and dig into this, but it gives you an opportunity where you simply probably wouldn't see it before. So no, the reason we're having this conversation is because I believe in what you're doing. I think it's fantastic.
Well, thank you, brother.
Thank you. Now, how would folks reach out to you?
Well, I'm all over social. I mean, my email is Dave@TrustEngine, but I'm most active on YouTube. A couple times a week we post something there, and LinkedIn. I post 3 or so days a week. Today I posted on LinkedIn. What are your 3 biggest opportunities? And I shared a few things I shared today. Next week, I am going to break down what I think are the top opportunities in the market based off of feedback from the market. That'll be on LinkedIn. And then one page I would give, 2 things I would tell everybody. One, if you go to trustengine.com/10x, there's a page, like if you want to get trained as an advisor, go there. There's a place to buy Mortgage Coach. There's a place with lots of training videos. And then I would also push everybody. There's a new community called modernmortgageiq.com. And there is a free assessment. There's what I call 8 pillars to being a modern mortgage advisor. And so go there and take the assessment. It's free, 3 to 5 minutes. It just I think to grow, you need to assess where you're at. And so there's a free assessment at modernmortgageiq.com. Check it out.
Dave, thank you so much for today. Listen, if I don't talk to you before Christmas or the New Year, make it a great one, man.
Appreciate you, brother. I love what you've done. Going back to the think big. Big small. Yeah. I actually had that email, like when you reached out to me, I saw that email and I was like thinking about you this morning. It's great to reconnect, brother.
Yeah, it is. And let's listen. If we don't talk, let's make sure we circle up around after the New Year. And let's just go kill this year and have a great time doing it.
Yeah, let's make some impact together. I got to interview you on our channel, man. So let's get it done.
Okay, sounds good, man. Talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody.